Constantinople, the greatest city of its time and the gateway to Europe. For centuries, the Muslims had tried and failed to conquer the Christians in their impregnable walled city. If Constantinople were ever to fall, the whole of Europe would be vulnerable. With the roar of cannon fire, the East gave warning to the West that people were no longer safe behind their city walls. In 1453, the Muslims were trying again, and this time with a new weapon. A weapon so powerful that even Constantinople's massive battlements might not withstand the pounding. If the combination of a determined Muslim leader and this fantastic new weapon could break the stalemate, the siege of Constantinople would truly be one of history's turning points. For 800 years, Constantinople was the world's richest city, center of trade, bridging Asia and Europe. When Rome fell to the barbarians in the 4th century, Constantinople took its place as the capital of the great Roman Empire. But 11 centuries later, this once great empire had shrunk to little more than an impoverished city-state. Its new leader, Constantine XI, ruled over a capital that was bankrupt, its lush gardens overgrown, its palaces deserted, and its people dispersed. Yet Constantinople remained the center of the Orthodox Christian Church, while Rome was the center of the Catholic Church. Each were jealous of the other's power and influence. This division was so great that to Rome, the Orthodox Church was an even greater enemy than Islam. What was to follow was a brutal Christian feud. But the city would always remember how the Roman Catholic Crusaders bloodily sacked Constantinople in 1204, when it possessed 2/3 of Europe's wealth. One horrified eyewitness wrote at the time,
"I do not know where to begin the story of what these monsters committed. They broke the holy images. They hurled the sacred relics of the martyrs into unmentionable places. They scattered the body and the blood of the Savior. They seized the chalices and tore out their precious stones and drank from them."
The city never recovered its former glory. By the time Constantine XI inherited the imperial throne in 1449, Constantinople was surrounded by an aggressive enemy. Constantinople had become a Christian enclave in the middle of the Ottoman Empire, which now extended from the Danube to the Euphrates. including Bosnia, Bulgaria, Greece, and Serbia. As early as the 7th century, Muslims had attempted to wrestle the city away from the Christian Byzantine Empire. Ayub Ensari, the Prophet Muhammad's standard-bearer, had died in his attempt to capture the city in 674 AD. The huge walls had withstood wave after wave of attack and proved to be the finest fortress in the world. 800 years after Ayub Ensari's death, another Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed II, declared,
"There is only one thing I want. Give me Constantinople."
This ambitious 21-year-old general was determined to ride into the city as its conqueror. Mehmet dreamed of creating an empire even greater than Rome at its height. But his grand vision would not be complete without a majestic capital city. He needed Constantinople. The young Sultan was well educated in the arts, languages, and the sciences. He was a man excited by new ideas. He made sure his troops were equipped with the latest weapons. Mehmet wanted to be remembered as the conqueror, the Sultan who succeeded where all his forefathers had failed. It was the Emperor Constantine who now stood in his way. Constantine was proud of his inheritance. The city was his life, and he would defend it to the last. Constantine paid gold to his enemies in an attempt to keep the peace. Mehmet watched Constantinople run out of money and refused to renegotiate the terms. In the winter of 1451, he cut off Constantinople's supplies. He built his own massive fortress, the Rumeli Hisar. It had walls 25 feet thick and was completed in only 4 months. From there, Mehmet now commanded the Bosphorus, where the strait is at its narrowest. With this new castle, the Sultan was able to put a stranglehold on Constantinople's shipping, severing the city's lifeline. Ships loaded with Ukrainian grain could not pass the Ottoman cannon. When Mehmet ordered his navy into the Sea of Marmara, the blockade was complete. Constantinople was cut off from the rest of the world. Constantine was desperate. He even approached the hated Catholic Church for military assistance. He sent gifts to the Sultan and promised to increase the gold shipments. Mehmet wasn't interested, but he did offer Constantine a deal: territory in Greece and religious freedom for his population in exchange for the city. Constantine refused. How could he surrender his city and everything that was its heritage? Classical Greece, Rome, and Christianity. His last letter to Mehmet tells it all.
As it is clear that thou desirest more war than peace, I turn now and look alone to God. However, I release thee from all thy oaths and treaties with me, and closing the gates of my capital, I will defend my people to the last drop of my blood.